What's going on, everyone? TM24 here, and we are back with some more Marvel Snap content. Now, if this is your first time finding the channel, welcome. I'm glad you found it. Today, we're going to be talking about Howard the Duck. And if you're a returning viewer, we got the same content for you. But thank you for coming back. I do appreciate the support. So, with all the changes that came to Marvel Snap recently, Kitty Pryde being dropped, the over-the-air changes to Wave, things like that, Howard has been kind of put on the back burner now. We did pick him up the day that he came out, but we had some other videos that we wanted to make before him. So now is finally his time to shine. This is the deck that I threw together for him. As you can see, we've got Nebula, we've got Zabu, Jeff, Jubilee, Wong, Iron Lad, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Zola, Doctor Doom, and Odin. And then, of course, it's all centered around Howard. So, first off, let's talk about him as a one-drop. So, he's a 1/2, which is fairly standard. You know, think of your Korgs, your Yondus, your Iceman. He's the same. Now, the additional value that he brings, of course, is through his ability of seeing the top card on your deck. So that can definitely be pretty valuable, and he's got a couple of cards that he really synergizes well, super well, with those being Iron Lad, as you can see here, as we're playing him and turning our Iron Lad into a Wong. So a pretty cool interaction, pretty cool that, you know, we can get additional copies of cards thanks to Iron Lad here, and then we can kind of choose what card we're gonna get because of Howard. So definitely a pretty cool thing here. And he also tells us, hey, you've got Odin coming up, so that kind of helps us decide what our line of play is going to be. In this instance, we can feel free to just go Black Panther because we know we have Odin up, and we could either Odin here or we could just go ahead and Zola. So it gives us options, which is great. That information that he provides is super valuable, I think. It's tough to say, though, because you need the cards to actually take advantage of the info that he's providing, right? If you don't have anything that you can play that synergizes with it, then I'm not sure what type of value Howard is actually going to bring for you. Now, the other card that he does have really great synergy with is in my hand right now, and it's Jubilee. Of course, she's pulling the top card from your deck and, you know, pulling it right onto the field. So in that instance, that's great because you know what you're pulling. If it's a one drop that maybe you don't want to pull, then obviously you don't pull it. You can wait a turn, take that one drop, play your Jubilee the next turn, depending on what she's going to pull. So I really do think that the two cards he synergizes best with are Iron Lad and, of course, Jubilee, because they can directly take advantage of his ability, which is cool. Other than that, though, knowing what you have it definitely has value in and of itself, because it allows you to formulate a game plan depending on what you see. You can see here we're checking every single turn to see what Howard's telling us. And that allows us to decide, a little bit more cleanly what types of plays we are looking to make. So I do think that information is very valuable from him, but it's a little bit tough because you've got to be able to take advantage of that information. So overall, I think Howard he's pretty solid from what I've seen. Actually, this deck was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think we would get, too many wins here, maybe a couple, but we actually ended up winning more than we were losing. In this instance, he tells us that our top card is going to be Odin, so that allows us to play Jubilee, bringing Odin out, which is going to get another pull here from Jubilee, pulling, in this instance, a Zabu. Not great, but we do work our way through our deck a little bit here as well. So, we're even checking last turn. Not that we could take advantage of it in any way. Jubilee's been used. We don't have Iron Lad in our hand. But it's just, I think it's a really cool mechanic. I think it is probably the most unique ability in the game, if I had to say. And having that information is definitely a good thing. But again, I'm not quite sure, how well he stands on his own. In a deck like this that's kind of built around that ability to take advantage of it, you can definitely see his value. But if you were just to toss him into any old deck, I'm not sure he would perform very well. The information might help you plan a little bit better, but I don't know if it's actually going to, to help you win the game. So, I think it's really cool. I think that animation is pretty sick. I think it's a really, really neat card, and knowing what's coming up is awesome. I think that's one of the more, fun parts of the game. And, this game sometimes it can be frustrating with locations like the miniaturized lab, like Death's Domain, things like that restrict your playing and take some of that fun out. And I think Howard giving you that info brings a little bit of it back. So I do think he's a pretty fun card here. And as you can see, we definitely have ways that, we can take advantage of them. We know we're pulling a Captain Marvel, and that seems like a pretty good pull. So why not go ahead and do that? Again, we work our way through our deck towards the other cards that we're actually trying to hit. So definitely pretty cool. We'll actually watch this last game here. We can see that we've got Odin coming up. We know that we've got Black Panther, we've got Wong, we've got Zola. We've only got 3 turns to play them, so if we're going to play 3, Black Panther is definitely going to be one of them. As you can see, we get him down right there. They then Magic, which is actually nice for us, extending the game a little bit. Wish we would have played Wong in that instance, but, we did what we could. Again, now we've got 2 turns. We see that Jeff is up. Not a ton of value there from us in terms of our Iron Lad hitting Jeff. So we feel better just Zoloing, knowing that the following turn we could Odin, and our Black Panther could get, a couple additional procs there. So our Zola comes down, sends our Black Panther to the other 2 lanes. Already coming in at a really nice 16 power. And then we're just waiting on turn 6 here. Our clear play is obviously Odin here. So we do check just in case. We could go with, the Iron Lad for the Dr. Doom alongside a Jeff if we wanted to fill, try to fill Nidavellir a little bit more, but we've only got 1 card there, so we decide to actually go with our original plan, Odining Zola, so Zola actually sends Odin back, getting the additional procs on our Black Panther. Really, really buffing up those lanes. So that was something that did surprise me a little bit. This deck was able to put out a huge amount of power. So that was really cool, really nice to see. When they played Iron Man here, I was a little bit worried that we were going to end up losing Limbo, but they come up just 2 power short, I think. Yeah, no, 1 power short in Limbo, and we end up getting the dub. So really fun game there. All right, so just a couple of final words on Howard here. So 1-2, you can see the top card of your deck. Probably one of the funnest mechanics in the game, definitely one of the most unique. I do think that those 2 cards that he really synergizes well with in Jubilee and Iron Lad, they really can help elevate him. Other than that, the information is definitely valuable, but you need to be able to take advantage of that information. So really, overall, I'd say Howard is a very, very solid card. I wouldn't be putting him in every deck. If you need to know what's coming up, obviously he's a clear choice. He's the only one that can do that for you. But overall, I think he's a pretty good card. I think he's solid, and I'm excited to see where he could wind up. So if you all have hung out till now, I really appreciate you hanging out. Now would be a good time to hit that subscribe button. But until next time, have some fun.